Hello and welcome to CityBeat, inside Palo Alto. I'm P.A. Moore. In today's program, we've got business, nature, and technology. In business, we're going to learn about Palo Alto's print shop and the Green Business Program. For nature, we visit the Baylands and we see some improvements in our parks. And for technology, we're going to learn about fiber to the home. Do stay with us. We're in the lobby of City Hall to look at the Fiber to the Home project. With me is project manager Josh Wallace. Josh, tell me, what is Fiber to the Home?
Fiber to the Home is a brand new technology that allows people to receive internet, video in the form of multi-channel television, and telephone, all over one very fast wire. We equate it to a big pipe.
A big pipe. So what will we see when we come through the lobby here at City Hall?
Oh, at City Hall, well, you'll see this tremendous TV that we have here, which shows television coming over fiber optics, which is a new advancement in telecommunications to allow the three services, telephone, internet, and television, to come over the one pipe.
And as a resident, how can I try this new system out with all these gizmos and gadgets?
Well, actually, we have the lobby display is non-interactive. We have a scrolling series of websites that show how fast fiber optics is in retrieving the websites from the internet, from the ether cloud, and bringing them down to us. And it's got the television, which actually will be on different channels during the day. But for real hands-on, the real sensation of this, one can go to the main library. There's a fiber to the home computer there. And on Monday nights, between 6 and 7 before council meetings, I'm here with hands-on demonstrations.
Well, I'm sure people will want to drop by and do that hands-on stuff. Tell me, this has been a fairly long process, so where are we in the process and then what's next?
Well, where we are in the process is that we're wrapping up the Fiber to the Home trial, which is a 70-home feasibility trial in the community center neighborhood near the Arts Center. And that's been going very well. We've seen that fiber optics is very low maintenance, very high performance telecommunications infrastructure. Now, what we're doing is we're gathering data from the trial, and we are surveying population, and we are engaging a consultant to help us create a business case, which we will put forward to the council sometime in the fall, saying that this is a great idea or this is actually some business we don't want to be in. So we're taking all these factors, putting them together and saying yay or nay, let's go forward, or not.
Well, thanks, Josh. Residents, you'll be able to see this exhibit in the lobby of City Hall through the month of October. And also remember to do your hands-on Monday nights at the main library.
Hi, I'm Judy Kleinberg, and I'm on the City Council, and I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about affordable housing and the challenge we have in Palo Alto to provide more affordable housing for our residents. You know, we just did a survey that had to do with libraries and cultural facilities in Palo Alto, and an interesting statistic came out of that survey. 28% of the respondents cited affordable housing and the cost of housing in Palo Alto as the top challenge in our community. And we really do have to work very hard to provide more housing and more affordable housing in our community. We've done a good job in the past. Since 1974, we've received over $18 million in Housing and Urban Development CDBG block grant funds, the majority of which has been used to purchase and rehabilitate affordable housing like this 57-unit Sheridan Apartments where I'm sitting today. But we really have a bigger challenge because the state requires us to provide our regional responsibility, our quota of affordable housing in our housing element update in every so often. And in fact, we're quite behind the times in terms of having our housing element updated. We have a draft that has gone to the state, and it is going to come back to the City Council pretty shortly for us to finally approve a number of units for our regional responsibility. We have to provide almost 1,400 units over the next 8 to 10 years in Palo Alto, and there is a substantial percentage of those units that have to be affordable. Now, how do we do that? We're completely built out. We don't have enough land to provide the foundation for all those units. So the challenge is to find existing sites that we can rezone in our zoning update provide affordable housing. And we have found over 30 potential sites that could be rezoned for residential uses, and they could be turned into housing sites for our community. If you'd like some more information about the housing element update and the need for affordable housing in Palo Alto, I encourage you to contact me, Judy Kleinberg, any of my City Council colleagues, or our staff, and there'll be a graphic now that you can see a telephone number to call. So please find out more about affordable housing in our community. We need your help. Thank you.
Chris Rafferty is park planner with Community Services, and we're here at Mitchell Park to talk about some of the wonderful improvements going on. Chris, I understand that even though this park is 40 years old, there's something called a master plan for park improvements. What's that all about?
Right. This park originally was opened in the 50s. It was designed by a well-known Bay Area, California landscape architect named Robert Royston. And over the years, his innovative design sort of suffered the age that anything in the public sector would after 40 years, and there were a number of improvements that needed to be made. So rather than approach those improvements in a piecemeal fashion, the city decided to do a new site improvement plan, master plan, covering the whole park. And we retained a consultant named Reed Dillingham from Berkeley. He's also another well-known landscape architect, and he came up with the design that we see behind us and around us. However, in the process of generating that design, there was a lot of public input. There was public meetings. There were reviews by the ARB and input from them. And the sum total is a design that attempts to reflect Mr. Royston's original design of the 50s and 60s, and yet have the updated children's play equipment and safety and accessibility features as well.
Okay. Can you tell me some of the specific things that are happening here at Mitchell?
Well, there's the two far south playgrounds, the swings and the play areas near the picnic area down there, are being renovated. Right behind the camera is the main restroom and field house. The restrooms in that building are being updated and renovated. Behind us is the main portion of the work. That's the tot lot area where the wading pool used to be. That is getting a new tot lot restroom and a kitchenette. The wading pool will be changed to a water play area that's sort of in the same shape as a wading pool, but has all the new water play spray features and resilient rubber surfacing, safety surfacing for the kids that will allow less maintenance and less liability as far as the pool goes. We're having a new older children's play area closer to JLS. The younger kids' play area will be closer to the wading pool. They're going to have, we retain a couple of the well-known and well-liked elements in that area.
The bears.
The Bafano-like bears and the frogs. The gopher holes are still there. New items will be a sand play table, for an accessible sand play table for kids with disabilities. In a large sand area where the bears are. The other play areas will be surfaced with resilient wood chip surfacing, which is required for accessibility purposes. Sand is not an accessible surface considered by ADA, but that's why we built the sand play table for the accessibility feature. What else is going on over there? We're bringing in a new sculpture to complement the bears and the frogs. It'll be an elephant that's being done custom made over in Vacaville. The fencing was designed to reflect the original style rather than go to something metal or plastic. So that costs a little more, but it's going to be, and might be a little more maintenance intensive down the line, but it's going to retain the original flavor of the park.
So it sounds like you are intimately acquainted with every single thing that's going to be happening here at Mitchell. But now, can you tell me, I know that there are improvements going on at Weary and Robles as well. Can you just give us a highlight of what's happening over at those two parks?
Well, actually, there's actually more than just those parks, PA. We have Weary, which is completed. That's over in College Terrace, a small pocket park, if you want to call it that. We enhance the accessibility of that park by adding, rebuilding the steps and adding a ramp, an accessibility ramp, and we replaced all the play equipment, added some picnic tables and benches, drinking fountains. Also, 3 other parks that are being improved right now as we speak are, well, actually Robles is done. That park opened to a grand celebration a couple of weeks ago. A lot of the similar scope of work over there, new pathways, new play equipment, arbors, picnic facilities, a lot of elegant planting went on over there. That project was managed by Kate Rooney, who's my colleague in the community services. She is also working on 2 other parks, Seal and Bowl. And also those parks will be having new play equipment, pathways, picnic equipment, and planting and irrigation improvements.
Well, thanks, Chris. Residents, visitors, friends of Palo Alto, you'll certainly enjoy visiting all these parks once the improvements are made.
I want to give you an overview of the issues facing the city's storm drain system. First, what is the storm drain system? It is a system of underground pipes, catch basins, and pump stations meant to carry away rainfall runoff to local creeks. Palo Alto's system has over 107 miles of underground pipes. Parts of the system were built up to 100 years ago, and many sections are in need of repair. The system was not designed to carry the current amount of runoff we now have in the city. It will cost between $48 million and $75 million to repair the system. Residents currently pay for storm drains with a fee of $4.25 per month for single-family parcels. Multifamily parcels pay based on the amount of impermeable surface. In addition to the fees, the city's general fund has been subsidizing the storm drains by an additional $900,000 per year. In order to pay for improvements, it's necessary to obtain more funding. According to Proposition 218, the question of raising the fees needs to be put to a vote by property owners. To help the City Council decide how to address the funding issue, a citizens committee is developing recommendations which will be delivered to the Council in October. If they recommend an increase in fees, then an election will need to be held, probably in the spring of 2003. A reminder that the Citizen Committee meetings are open to the public. They are held every other Friday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Art Center on Newell Road.
We're at the City of Palo Alto's print shop, and the print shop has just recently become a green business, which has achieved a number of firsts in this category. Julie Weiss, who's an environmental specialist with the city, is going to tell us about some of those things. Julie.
The print shop is actually the first print shop and the first government agency in Santa Clara County to achieve the Green Business Certification Program.
And what is the program precisely? Can you give us more details?
Yeah, the Green Business Certification Program is actually a Bay Area-wide multi-county program. There's 5 counties involved in it, and the program sets standards for high environmental performance for businesses and nonprofits and pretty much anyone who wants their shop to achieve certain levels of environmental compliance and performance.
What are some of those levels of compliance?
Well, really, actually, compliance isn't the best word to use, but they're really goals for achieving environmental standards. And some of those goals include things like reducing energy use and water use by a minimum of 15%, hazardous waste by 25%, and solid waste as well. And also looking at things like, well, what kind of products are we purchasing? Do they have recycled content? Are they the least toxic products available? So when you look at all those components together, they can really help improve the environmental and also the health performance of any business or shop that's involved in the certification.
I know that there was a pretty big team involved in getting this Green Business Certification. Would you mind showing me around and introducing me to some of those people?
Sure, let's go do it.
Julie, what's the first stop on our tour?
Well, I'd like to introduce you to John Sanchez, and he is the gentleman who you first meet when you come to the print shop. He is the person who assists with pretty much any of the customer service requests, and he runs all the black and white copies for the print shop. And he was telling me the other day that you really noticed a big change in the print shop since we became certified.
Yes, I certainly did. The air is a lot cleaner, and the breathing for me has really improved. I noticed since we stopped using the harsh chemicals that my allergies have really subsided quite a bit.
I'd like to also introduce you to Bob Stith. He's the pressman for the print shop, and Bob was actually very key in helping us make the switch to alternative chemicals, including the soy inks and the different fountain solutions that they use now in the print shop.
Yes, it's been a real challenge to get used to this new chemistry, but we think the overall effect is worthwhile.
I would like to now introduce you to Ty Campbell, and he is actually the print shop manager, and he's the one who took on for his shop the Green Business Certification Challenge and really helped guide his staff in achieving their 90% waste reduction, their 42% reduction in energy use, and also, of course, the hazardous chemicals that they were using before that they've reduced considerably. So, and you've been talking to me about some of the changes you've noticed in the print shop, too.
Yes, one of the key things I noticed in the shop is the fact that, it has got my awareness of my health, my personal health, dealing with all these chemicals and other miscellaneous stuff in the shop here. Reduction of the VOCs, the recycle of all the papers and stuff, and just my health in general. I think that things have improved a whole lot. Not only myself, but it's the shop personnel, and the city as a whole.
Well, Ty, it's been really great meeting you. And Julie, thank you so much for showing me around the print shop and hearing about our green business certification. So we'll be visiting other green businesses as part of the show. Stay with us. I am so pleased to be here with Larry Hassett at Ace Hardware, which was the first of the Palo Alto green businesses. Larry, tell me, a hardware store in green business?
Yes, well, the Green Business Program really is applicable to any kind of business. Hardware business lends itself well, but just about any business is a good candidate for the Green Business Program.
Tell me about some of the partnerships with the city, say on light bulbs and things like that.
Well, because of our involvement with the Green Business Program, we've participated in a lot of different kinds of programs. Compact fluorescents, we've sold probably over 20,000 compact fluorescents into the city of Palo Alto in partnership with utilities. We've created and started a fluorescent recycling program where we actually recycle the fluorescent light bulbs, getting the mercury out of our landfill. And we've done other things like reducing some of the toxic pesticides on our shelves to create a whole new program called basically a less toxic pest control program, where we're actually encouraging the sales of the better methods of pest control. Some other ones would be like the elimination of the copper-based root controls for getting rid of roots out of sewer lines and stuff. We've eliminated that because that is another thing that just adds heavy metals into the baylands and stuff. So we've really evaluated a lot of our product selection and where we want to emphasize the good things and where we want to trim back on the harmful things.
I understand that a lot of people don't really recognize that being a green business is in fact also good economically. Can you tell me more details on that?
Well, there's a lot of aspects of the Green Business Program that help the bottom line. Basically, if you can reduce your energy consumption, your utility consumption in general, whether that be water or whatever, you're helping your bottom line. Waste reduction streams and everything else, once again, if you can put more into the recycling bins than you do into your dumpsters, and so that's a large aspect of helping the bottom line. The other aspect is on more of our business in general. We're now regionally shopped for our less toxic pest controls. So we draw from a much larger area than a normal hardware store would. So obviously in that situation, customers are coming to us rather than to my competitors. In addition, we've instituted a photovoltaic sales program here where we're selling solar electric panels, and that has become over a $2 million niche market that this hardware store now is very proud of.
Well, Larry, we're really very proud of you and Ace Hardware, and we think that you're just a great beacon for the community, so thank you so much for being here today. Thane Peterson is the owner of Rosenthal Service, and Rosenthal Service is a green business. Thane, tell me, how did this green business come about?
Well, we were involved pretty early on with Carol Berg, with the city and with the county, doing other environmental programs. So when green business came out, she called me to ask about would I be interested in being the first auto repair shop.
So the first auto repair shop, that's quite an honor.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very proud of it.
And you have a large staff here. How do employees react to being a green business and all that entails?
Quite well, actually. I anticipated some of them would resist some of the changes and a little extra work that it brought on, but one of my employees, who I thought would really react negatively, became the biggest proponent, and it actually came up to me one day sort of disgusted that he had seen an employee put something that could have been recycled into the regular trash. So, yeah, very positive.
Well, that's good news. And you know, coming in here, I saw all those certificates on the wall. It sounds like you're involved in a lot of other things. What are they?
We've been involved in a lot of environmental things from the early 90s forward, and one of the awards, we got a certificate of congressional recognition for helping create the Clean Business program and helping the city. We helped the fire department revamp their structure for billing for hazardous materials handling and a number of things.
Well, sounds like Rosenthal's Auto Service is doing a great job in keeping the environment clean, so thank you so much. Steve Steiger is with the Palo Alto Historical Association. He's here to tell us something about a wonderful old building called the Hostess House. Steve, what's the history behind the Hostess House?
The Hostess House is a U.S. Army World War I training camp hostess house. The hostess houses were built by the YWCA to serve as a place where the soldiers could meet the women in their life, their mothers, their sisters, or more likely their girlfriends, in a chaperoned environment. This particular hostess house was built for the U.S. Army's Camp Fremont, which is where downtown Menlo Park is today. It was designed by California architect Julia Morgan, who's best known for her Hearst Castle design.
Well, that sounds fascinating, especially about the Hearst Castle. Then something happened. The city bought the property, as I understand?
Yes, when the war ended, the camp was disbanded, and the city bought this building for $1 and moved it to its present site here on University Avenue. It initially served as a community center for the new town of Palo Alto and served that function until the mid-1930s when the present Lucy Stern Community Center was opened.
I wish we could still buy real estate for $1. And then what's its current use?
Well, after the community center moved across town, this building became used as a veterans clubhouse, sort of. And then in the late 1960s, the building was sort of run down, and the city was considering demolishing it. At that point, this restaurant chain moved in, offered to renovate the building in exchange for its use, and a lease was signed, and that's why we enjoy the MacArthur Park restaurant in its present site.
Hello, my name is Zelfa Alexander, and I work in the City Clerk's office located on the 7th floor of City Hall. The City Clerk's office is staffed by 6. We offer immediate assistance for the public and employees who call or visit the City Clerk's office. Our staff has a combined total of over 80 years of public service experience, and we work well together as a team with an emphasis on customer service. Our office has the primary responsibilities of providing information to the public, providing council support, administering city elections, and preserving the legislative history of the city of Palo Alto. We manage the recruitment process for positions on boards and commissions. The city clerk or her delegate participates in all city council and committee meetings. Our office records official actions and legislation of city government, documenting the proceedings of meetings and retaining other legal and historical records. Our office manages the proper maintenance and disposition of city records and information according to statute and helps to preserve city history. Did you know our office stores the actual signed documents of every city council meeting dating back to the 1920s? You may be wondering, how does one office process and store so much information? Our office manages the off-site storage and retrieval of documents not only for the city clerk's office, but for the entire city. In most cases, that information is requested and delivered to the appropriate office within 24 hours. The city clerk's office is a very exciting and busy place to work, and our mission is to maintain the legislative history of the city while allowing appropriate access by the public. And we have had the pleasure of getting to know many residents by name. Remember, you can find information on the web regarding the City Clerk's office as well as the City Council agendas and minutes, and also information regarding boards and commissions. You may call the City Clerk's office at 329-2571 for assistance. Please stop by to say hello the next time you visit City Hall.
Officer Casey Cushman and I are here at the animal shelter, and I was going to ask him some things about summertime care for our pets. Casey, what would you advise in the summer regarding pet care?
Well, I think the biggest thing is keeping the dog or the cat or whatever you have cool, lots of water, and in the shade. That's the biggest thing I would say, is keeping them in the shade, especially during this hot summer months that we're having ahead of us.
And can you tell me what signs of dehydration are there that I should look for?
Well, with dogs, excessive panting, not moving much, inactivity in cats. Dogs will tend to salivate a lot. So, you can tell that the activity level is a lot lower than normal, is what are the biggest things that I'd say.
And speaking of activity level, do you see more activity here at the animal shelter in the summer in terms of animals turned in and adoptions?
At this time, we do get a lot more kittens. It's kitten season, so we get a lot more kittens coming in. And with adoptions, a lot of people are coming in because they have time off, kids coming from school and parents having the time off with the kids, and they want the animals to play with over the summer.
Oh, well, let's take a look at some of those animals right now.
Summer is a 2-year-old spayed female that was found as a stray, sadly never claimed by her original owner. Summer is a bit on the shy side, yet she does enjoy the company of adults and even other cats. Divine came into the shelter with 4 gorgeous kittens who quickly found homes. When she first came into the shelter, her kittens were only a few days old. Divine is a spunky 1-year-old who is now a spayed female. She is playful, loving, and enjoys the company of adults and children. Phantom is an adult rabbit who is friendly, smart, playful, and gentle with children. Phantom is completely litter box trained, which makes for easy cleanup. Phantom has been at the shelter for a long time and really needs a home. Please tell a friend. Bravery is a 3-year-old male cockatiel who is very, very vocal. He loves to sing and sing and sing and sing and sing and sing. He would love a home with other birds to talk to, yet not share space, food, or toys with. He's a soloist. Mo is a 2-year-old red-eared slider turtle. Mo is better known at the animal services as the Mean Green Slider Machine. He is very tolerant about being picked up and seems to enjoy the company when people stop by to take a look at him and his tank. Mo is a water land turtle and would be ideal for a home that has a secured outdoor pond. Maggie is a 3-year-old spayed female Rottweiler that is wonderful. Maggie came into the shelter as a stray that was never claimed by her original owner. She is very well-mannered, walks well on a leash, and is housebroken. Reba is a 2-year-old spayed female blue tick coonhound. She is looking for a home where her new family will provide her with lots of activity and things to do. Reba is a member of a breed that is highly intelligent and loves to be active. These animals and many more are available at the Palo Alto Animal Services, 3281 East Bayshore Road in Palo Alto. We're open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Give us a call at 496-5971.
Thank you so much for watching CityBeat Inside Palo Alto. I'm P.A. Moore. Be sure to send your comments to the email address listed at the end of the credits.